Good morning. Good morning, Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, 24th September 2021, Friday. And talk as usual quality, safety. Quality is most important and safety is also most important. Both are important. Title is Civil Field Engineering and Life. Quality AnnexSL issue for me, for you, structure of qualification, that is structure of quality, COVID-19 interrelation and safety interrelation, engineer's role, designs, construction, methods, contracts, organizations, which are all linked to quality and AnnexSL, and communication and coordination, and why we behind quality of standard material. We all have, as usual, I try to show you this quality of professionals, those professionals who have got certifications like this, not necessary that everybody should have this, like this. That's also a part of quality, that we are well qualified, well educated, and people can trust ourselves. We have to establish our trust regarding our capability, regarding our, you may say, development in profession itself. We have to develop our profession to such heights where we can say we are having quality professionals, we are having quality system, we are having safety system, and all those must be done for quality system, which is of course worldwide, which is international, and which must be respected for by everyone professional. People should trust only, people can trust only when we deliver that, or else people don't bother. Everybody is a consumer, everybody is a customer, and professionals know this very well. Civil engineers are like, well born engineers. Civil engineers are educated, but civil engineering is naturally born engineering. We say, but it is really, you can say, exists everywhere since this universe was created. All other engineerings may be different, but civil engineering is one that starts ab initio. Health, safety, or you can say safety, health and environment are like elementary requirements. Same way, civil engineering or basic development is elementary requirement. No safety means we cannot do anything, and no quality means we should not deliver anything. People deliver without quality. What to do? There is no morale, there is no, you can say, seriousness among people. There is no seriousness among manufacturers, among developers, and there is no seriousness among users. COVID-19 is an example of bad quality, it's an example of bad health, it's an example of bad safety, and it's also an example of bad environment where everybody has failed. Every person belonging to this earth has failed. Means all professionals, all scientists, everyone has failed, as no one predicted anything prior to it's getting spoiled. We are responsible for bad health of world, irrespective of which country you talk of. Boosting is one part, just we can say fake declaration is another part, but reality cannot be concealed. Reality cannot be taken for granted. Construction designs and organizations are very much related. COVID-19 has told us that you are very small people, you are very low profile people, you cannot check even my existence. How did I come to you? You even could not identify me, really? Exactly, and you could not do anything against me except delusion and illusions. There is no definition of illusions and delusion. It you can take it whatever way. A kind of, you can say, fiction it is. You may assume you have worked against me, you have assumed you have fought against me, but you can neither work against me. I am COVID-19, and you could not destroy me, and you cannot destroy me until I want. You cannot know me. Until I desire, you cannot know me. It's up to me when I shall declare myself. I am here as a warner, as a teacher, your guide. I am not a ghost. I am not evil power. It is your own creation. I did not create myself. You created me. You created out of your bad acts. So I am your result of bad acts. I am nothing extraordinary. I am nothing miraculous. It is your problem. You created me. You created pollution of every agency of nature. Air pollution, water pollution, mind pollution, body pollution, food pollution. You cannot do hard work, so it is body pollution as well. You are very much interested to have comforts. That's another point that led to your inactivity. You do not want to stress your body, you do not want to work physically, and that is where problem lies in. You are not strong, it's your problem, it's not my problem. I am just explaining to you. I am very small, invisible, my size is very, very small, you know it very well. That small size is smaller than ant, it's smaller than everything. I think it's lesser than air particle size. So I'm not small, how can I be so impactable upon you? But because you don't exist mentally, you don't exist spiritually or soul wise, soul of world people has become very weak. When soul is weak, you will get sickness, you will get everything. I am no entity, but you made me entity. You spoiled, beautiful, and you can say very respectful, very powerful, natural air. You spoil water bodies, you spoil surface of earth, you spoil whatever else you can say, your blood circulation. Majority of people are having blood pressure, whether low or high. Majority of people are having obesity. Majority of people are having heart diseases. Man, you can say cancer, or whatever else you can say, eye problems. This is all because of you, not because of me. Nature gave you something, God gave you something, and that is beautiful universe. Solar system, you were not patient. You wanted to grab everything. You do not know what shall you do by grabbing. This earth is permanent, solar system is permanent, universe is permanent, but human and all other souls living on this planet, they are not permanent, they can never be permanent. That is basic principle, and we have to understand this point very well. Understanding is very well, and if you can understand, fine. If you can't understand, nobody can teach you. Quality is first requirement, safety is very first requirement, and ergonomics you have to understand. If you can't understand quality, if you can't understand safety, health and environment, you can't understand yourself. Safety includes everything, health includes everything. Don't take it too lightly. You are here in this world only for very little time. Somebody 50 years, somebody 60 years, somebody 100 years. It's like that. You should enjoy this journey. Why do you want to grab it? Why do you think you're honor of everything while you are not? You can never be. Top people came, big people came, important people came in history. They wanted to stay forever, but they could not. This happened. It's not fiction. And same thing you want to do. If somebody asks someone, do you want to go back home? And that home is permanent home. Nobody will say, I want to go back home. I don't think even 0.1% people will say, yes, I am ready to go back. I'll pack it. Nobody would say that. It's ridiculous, of course. It's enjoying. So say, if I raise a question, do you want to go? What's your will? It's I want to enjoy life. I want to get more money. I want to get more health. I want to be rich. I want to do this. I want to do that. Yes, that is desire. That is lust. But at what cost? At cost of harming natural production. COVID-19 is very powerful because you are not powerful. We are not powerful. COVID-19 shall be very light if you are powerful, and you can be powerful only when your health is good, you are safe, your working environment, your thinking environment is excellent, you can do something, you can digest sun, you can digest air, you can digest forces, and you can build up your body in that way. Natural body it's not artificial body. It's not machine production. If that machine was there, it is also natural. Womb chamber, woman chamber, womb chamber, birth chamber. That's also natural. So natural factory, that is birth chamber, delivers natural body. So it should be natural, but it has not been. Unfortunate. You do not want to face stresses. You do not want to face hardships. Everybody is interested only in comforts, and they call it advancement, economical uplift. You call it development. I don't call it development, because economy in terms of quantity, it is fixed. You cannot change it. Water body volume is fixed, air volume is fixed, sun rays are fixed, sky is fixed, size of lithosphere is fixed. Tell me one which is not fixed. Your life is fixed, everybody's life is fixed. So why do you want to change it? You have extracted petroleum, fossil oil, fossil fuels that I created in millions of years. You are so smart, you consumed it. You are so smart, you consumed so quickly, you could not digest it forever. You are so hungry for money, you are so hungry for wealth, you are so hungry. I have given you enough crops, enough land is available. I have given you soil, I have given you all agencies that are required for crops growing. But you have to work. But you don't want to work. Okay, you develop machines, fine. That machines you did not develop yourself. I gave you all raw material, I gave you mind, and I gave you scientists, I gave you everyone, engineers, and only then you could develop. But your graved lying is no silver. There is no silver lying there I can say, okay, at this table you can do that. That is my intention, to tell you that COVID-19, whom you blame, I am. Yes, I am COVID-19. But I am not your enemy, you are your own enemy. Very small protection is required, and you are not able to do that even. You are going to have drinks, you are going to have good food, hard food, you can say soft food, or what you call it, fast food. You are going to enjoy your life only. You don't want to face hardships so that you become immune. You are in stage you want vaccination. Vaccination is itself is not sure. Vaccination itself is not sure, and also nothing is sure in fact. Only surety is you build up yourself mentally and physically. You should be strong enough to resist me, not by vaccination but by your body build up. Your body should be strong enough, but that is not case. 85%, I cannot say 85, but more than 70% people of higher classes, they are weak. that is result that cancer, hypertension, blood pressure, heart diseases, obesity, as such, these you earn. I can say you earn because these diseases take you somewhere unknown. So my role to explain is that better raise your natural immunity rather than whatever else you depend upon. You have stopped walking, you have stopped exercising, you have stopped accepting sun rays, you have stopped everything, and those who still work in that direction, they are better than your health. They have better health, and that is very big issue. If you have good health, you can enjoy. There is no COVID-19. If you don't have better health, you shall suffer from all these issues, from all these problems. That is my intention to explain to you. It's very easy, just that protect yourself, protect your respiration system, protect your speaking system, mouth, lips, and use masks. It's not a big deal. I don't need anything else. I just wanted to teach you, and I am still there. I will not go immediately until you force me to go. And there is only one way to force COVID-19, and that is precaution. That is precaution and nothing else. If you can have precaution, I like it, because you care for God's product. You are God's product. You are not your own product. And I respect those who respect God. I'm not naming any God, and I don't want to, because that is also fiction. God is God. Whatever name you can give, it's your problem. For me, it is supreme power, and I also got birth from that God. You also got birth from that God, and you do not respect your body. This means you do not respect your God. You do not respect your soul. You are become lies. You are a liar sometime. You are a criminal sometime. You are proud sometime for nothing. You say, this I have done, that I have done, but you did nothing, because nothing belongs to you. You are just nothing, a body, a machine, and that machine too you do not respect. Therefore, I would say 2 points. One is safety, health and environment. Strength, being strong is a requirement. If you are not strong, your mind cannot be strong, your thoughts cannot be creative, your health cannot be strong, and you cannot build up a pleasing environment, conducive environment around you, and that is very much required. So COVID-19, I don't think is an impact on you. Rather, I would say you are an impact of COVID-19. COVID-19 is very gentle. It didn't harm you. You harmed yourself. Your organizations are bad. Your hospitals are bad. Your facilities are bad. Your system is bad. Better you manage that. Those who claim we are best in world, they have proved they are worst in world. Worst means dust. They are of no use. It may be whatever country. I tried to check everyone, and in fact everyone failed. That is my power. You destroy my power, I don't mind if you can, but so far I think everyone has failed. So many scientists, so many others only boast. One day one body says something, another body says something, and that is what I created for you, that you have no concentration of anything, and that's required. So my message to you is, do not be so do not say that I am bad, I am not bad, whatever it is. I know what I am. I am reformer. I am your future developer. I am like a power that God sends to improve its own institutions, and you are my institution. Every person is institution. Every agency is institution. Whole this solar system is my institution, and I myself remain as institution. So you have to understand this fact, and if you cannot understand this fact, then your mind is locked, your soul is locked. Unlock your soul and unlock your mind. Understand what I am saying. I am not your enemy. I am your teacher. You have to change your system. Only then forget alone economic consideration. Economy can never move alone. It is your conception only. No economy can move alone without sciences, without support of knowledge, and that you can say without that power that gives you knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, your economy is no use, and economy is not something new. It's already there. Only thing you want to pull it for you. It's for everyone, but you want to make use only for some people in some country or some otherwise you can say people who cannot understand life. Life is not in any religion. Life doesn't lie somewhere in any country. Life lies in your heart, in your mind, in your conscious, and that's what I say. I like it if you are strong, if you are honest. You are not honest. All lie, all state lies on telephones, mobiles, or wherever. Lying has become your moral, your character, and cheating has become character of many people. Fraud has become character of many people. Riches cannot become riches by hard work. They can be riches by looting others. Politicians are same all over the world, all liars. So I would say I cannot accept my universe like this. I don't want to see my creations to be like criminals. So better you change yourself. I will immediately go. Don't worry. I go means I won't harm you. But if you don't do that, then I know what way I have to adopt to set you right. As Krishna said and Ram said and all others said in their own languages, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirabhavati bharate abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham praritarnaya sadhunam vinashaya jaduskatam dharma sanstha vinashaya dharma sanstha uthanaya pushpamis yuge dharma sanstha punarthaya sambhavani yuge yuge. Means I am responsible for this universe, not only for this earth, and I'll call this earth, this planet Bharat, and this is my responsibility to set it right. If it is not right, though it's your responsibility, you are delegated authority, but you don't care for this, and I have to care for my earth because it's my property. I created for your use, but you don't understand it's your property. You think it's your train, it's your flight. Yes, it's your flight indeed, but your flight should be safe. Till you are in this flight, you should respect it. I'll give you food, I'll give you refreshment. Your life is very short, and don't create problems for yourself and for myself. I want to be free mind. Though I am very small, I am invisible, yet I am powerful. You can't change me, but I can change you. That's my power, my might. That's why I relate to life also on this talk. Don't think I'm talking through someone. I'm talking directly to you, and you have to take your care. Don't think that I leave you. I will not leave you until I reset you. I have to change you because you are my production. I don't want to see my production as bad quality. That's why I'm relating you to quality system, and that system comes in here, and that is AnnexSL 2015. That is in quality system 2015, ISO 9001, or it may be some other system which you prefer, but intention is same in all systems. Intentions can never be different. That is main point. Intentions can never be different. Intentions can never be different. Sorry. So what I mean is that you have to set yourself right in right direction. Now, not sticking on to this, I'll move to quality system, and that is ISO 9001. It's called high level language SL, AnnexSL it is called, and it is quality management system, and you can say that is this. Before going further, I would simply say that it's a system that is organized one, not now, it has been for many you can say years. This system is something great or not great, that experience would tell you. This is known as quality system, and this should tell you if you operate me, it tells you if you operate me according to my declarations, according to my principles, what I suggest or what I advise, then you must get product that is quality based. That is what the system says. But we have to make sure, is it happening? That is the question. But you can say, if you survey, if you research, we find that quality products are not available as they should be. Systems operate, people say we are operating, and there are certain third parties who certify those systems. But where is problem that we don't get quality out of quality system? We should get quality out of quality system, but we don't get. If you experience, you buy products from whatever organization or company or manufacturing unit or real estate or construction, you can find maybe it is architecturally, or you can say shape wise or color wise, or you can say whatever you may say package wise, it looks very beautiful, very attractive, very finished touch. But your purpose is not finish, your purpose is not attraction. Purpose should be performance by that product, machine or part or electronic item or some other item or constructed item. Whatever product you buy, it should have some performance system. If performance is not worked upon, if it doesn't deliver that, it may be attractive, it may be colorful, but objective is missed. It doesn't meet that requirement for which it was produced or it has been produced. We have to set our objectives. Every company, organization, system sets its own objectives, its own procedures, its own, you can say, its own methods, its own structure, how it's going to move. Quality system standardization has been done by many references. Like one is ISO 9001, and it was in 2008 previously that was working. That's gone now, and now is 2015. That is a structured one. A structure has been created. You follow like this and write whatever you can do according to your requirement. We don't force you, but this structure, where there are 10 clauses or maybe more added, they should work in every structure of your organization. And those structures, you can see, are very easy to understand. There is scope that we have already gone to. Then in clause 2 we have already gone to. Scope is one. Well, clause 1 is scope, clause 2 is normative references, clause 3 is terms and definitions, and clause 4 is context of organization. Then clause 5 is leadership, and after that clause 6 is planning. Clause 7 is support, without which nothing can happen, and clause 8 is operation. Clause 9 is performance evaluation, and clause 10 is improvement, which is never ending. So I had reached up to every backbone of every requirement, backbone of every work, every system. If we have good leadership, if we have performing leadership, there is no way we cannot do anything. There is no way we can move on to achieve our objective or target. Our aim, our, you can say, permanent destiny or destiny for a fixed duration. You can say that objective objective that we have to get, that should be long running. It's not that we get only for 1 day or 2 days or 1 month or 2 months. It should be long running with continuous application of improvement on that. That is, you can say, called durability. How far can it travel, giving us its performance, and whatever we fixed for our achievements, standards, quality, that product continues to deliver that on performance, and we can say yes, this is what we liked, and we can learn from that result experience as well. What we intended to do, is it being delivered? Are we getting that? Or no, we get something else. Why are we getting something else? Why did we not get what we intended for? This means there is some problem. There may be some lapse, and we have to discover that lapse. And after we discover that lapse, we have to apply correction on that, as in clause 10, improvement or modification. And then we have to continue that in another trial until we get something reliable. And it is act of leadership. If we have strong, committed, dedicated, intelligent, brilliant, and you can say visionary leadership. Visionary is something very different here. It doesn't mean political visionary, it means work visionary. We can logically calculate our, according to engineering sciences and all other sciences, what can we get out of this proposal. It's not simply promise. We don't believe in promises. We believe in deliveries. We believe in performance. We believe in doing. And quality system is that which binds us, because we are brain father of our own system based on some guidelines. No other can tell us what we have to do, as far as we can comply with those guidelines, what we have to do. And that leadership is a great number here, great reference here. It's not leadership spelling, it's effect of leadership. Leadership says lead. If one can lead, certainly one is leader. One has to lead whom? The question is that first, if you want to be a leader, you have to lead yourself, and then how can you lead yourself, then you can find methods how to lead others. That is very basics. If you can neither lead yourself nor lead others, then what sort of leader you are? That is also a question mark. Leadership means, it's not that you have a crown on your head or you have a big bungalow. Leadership means you are a thinker, you have every power to have vision, you can think of something to create, and you have some objective to achieve, destiny to achieve for you and for others, and you know how to do that. You can streamline that procedure, you can streamline it in a system or a group of systems, and you can say that I have created this, I have established this system, and this system works. When I start something here, at end I get delivery, and that is what is called system. I have systemized my procedure, and that can be very small system, and that can also be very long system. It depends on what this product is. It is industry, it's factory, it's construction, or it is some other. There is no end. There can be millions of such standards if Everybody has many standards. Though I'm not saying have millions. Structure is mean that it's like a form. You have to fill up this form according to your work, according to your company, according to your organization. It may be government, it may be non-government, it can be whatever. You have to understand that, and there are some requirements and there are some formulas in way that how I to solve my problem. It's not that this mathematical formula, and even if mathematical formula is required, you have to use it. So it says leadership and commitment are very important. Leadership doesn't work if commitment is not done, if devotion is not given, and if determination is not calculated. Policy has to be set by leader of whole organization at every level. At top level, policy is delivered, is decided, is designed what we have to do, and it doesn't mean that you write a book on that. It just means intention is what is our intention, what we have to do, how we have to use this organization, or if it's not an organization, it's a personal organization, how to use it. That is main point. That generally people say we believe in quality and we believe in customer satisfaction, but I say we have to deliver quality, and you have to deal with good products. We have to deliver good products, not bad products, and we want to give total satisfaction to our end user. Well, I don't know, they spend a lot of time on that. Messages, mails, even telephones, calls. They spend a lot of time on that post service inquiry. I don't think that is necessary. Okay, you want to fill up records, you can say it's for our improvement. Okay, it's for your improvement. Your improvement is fine if you do it, but if you just want to keep records, that's not good. Because customer is not living for you. Some customer has time, some has no time. Your service should be first you satisfy yourself. That's most important. So what I say, leadership is something very exclusive. It should be inclusive leadership and it should be exclusive leadership both. Exclusion, I am saying that you have to think alone. Inclusive means you have to think as team. Both are different. When you think as team, you have to involve thinking from everyone, suggestions and improvement from everyone. And if you say I'm exclusive, you have to use yourself, your mind on a gross level, on a top level, what I want to do, how I have to help this organization, and that is very important point. So we can say, here we say leadership and commitment, policy, organization roles, responsibilities and authorities, these are inclusions. And we have certain points here to consider, and those points are also very important. Commitment is not that easy. Policy making is easy, you can make whatever policy, nobody can do anything in that. But commitment onto that is important. Policy writing is very easy, but policy writing, whatever writing is there on policy, delivery on that is very difficult if you are not having any concentration or any total mind on that. You cannot just say I have written this and it should happen. It would not happen automatically. You have to force it to happen. You have to force something. Quality is very difficult, like safety is very difficult. Unexpected situations arrive in health and safety and health also. Unexpected situations can arrive in quality system. So we have to consider case by case. We cannot simply generalize. These inclusions are there. Organization roles. What is your role? What is your responsibility? What's your authority? And in fact, and those points are, you can say, your own. You have to decide for your own as a leader, because you are a leader. Your job is just to manage. You have to think, you have to decide, or just to do something additional. If you think I have just to manage, then you are a follower. Manage, but manage with something different. Because leadership is responsibility. Leadership means accountability. Leadership means, you can say, liability. Because you are going to spend your structure, your money, your wealth into financing some system, and you shall certainly get returns if you are reality, if you face reality. So emphasis on leadership is very important. It is like science. You have to raise questions: what I am doing, why I am doing, how I am doing, why should I do, why should I not do. These cross questions you have to do yourself, and you are that much capable. Everybody is that much capable. Everybody can do it. It's very, very simple. It's not necessary that every time somebody should tell you. And then you can say at top level, I am saying top management is top organization level, and they have most high accountability, because they are involved in losses or gains, and loss of reputation, in loss of profile, in loss of money, or gain in professional profile, gain money, gain whatever you can say. Better accountability, maximum accountability. Top level has greater accountability and involvement in organizational works, organizational systems. Integration is also very important. We say only in papers integrate. Do we really do that? Integration means what? In mathematics, integral calculus, differential calculus. And we know integrate means going up. I mean to say there's some objective also here too. You have to integrate requirements. What do you want to do? If you say no, means you have to make a system of staff. You have to make a chain of staff. If it is required in your system, if it's required in the production, it's not one person show, it's a group show, then there must be integration of that group. They should have common objective, they should have common understanding as far as work is concerned. That is not personal work, that is employment. And this doesn't mean employment on salary, it is involvement employment. You are employed somewhere for this involvement, for this objective you have to achieve. How much you are paid, that is different here. Of course, when you are integrated, somebody integrates you, you will get payment. It's of course true. But I am not talking of payment here, because payment is your outlook. If you don't accept that payment, you won't work there. That's also true. So integration means you should be a part of team. You should be a part of responsibility. You should be a part of accountability, and you should be part of power of that organization. Means you should consider, and you consider, in fact, I think majority of people consider until they work in that organization that this is my organization. I have to think of that, think for that, think in its interest, and that integration is different type. Means you think that this is my work, this is my organization, and I have to think for it. That is integrate requirement of management system into organization's core business process. And then it is ensure that management system allocates necessary resources, because without stand clearly, you are also one of many resources. Everybody is a resource, every equipment is a resource, every person is a resource, every, you can say, whatever else is used for that production, for that process, that is a resource. You have to understand this point very well. It's not my or your, it is fact. It's not my system or your system, it is company or organization or group system. And you can say communication is very important. He says ensure system achieves business intended outcome. If there is business, of course there should be some outcome. Otherwise, why we should be there wasting time? If we are there, there is something, and that is business, and that business should be system business. There should be some system on that. There should be some intention. There should be some objective, what we want to achieve, and that is here is written ensure. But I think it should be clearly understood that what we have to do, because business cannot be defined in one line. You are busy there, simply saying, I am not saying for commerce, but I am saying because I am involved, you are involved, it is our business, means we remain busy here. But what for that business is, that we should know. We have to decide every step in confidence, in trust for its organization, and we have to move further. So communication works very well there. If you cannot communicate with each other internally or externally, we cannot do anything. We cannot pass messages, we cannot have interactions, we cannot know what is required, what's not required. Or you can say teamwork cannot be done without communication. Communication is a high level infrastructure when you are in a team. Wherever team members sit, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter they should sit in one room. But involvement is important. Remote involvement, online involvement, or face-to-face involvement, whatever it is. Then employees awareness and improvement, involvement, employee or director or manager or whoever you are, it has to be made sure that you know about that business very well, you know your involvement, you know up to what level you can go, and that makes a difference. Just because I am employee here, I work 8 hours or 10 hours a day, and I get my salary, and that's my relation to this company, I think that is weak relation. We think for company it's mine, we think for organization mine, because I am a part of it. I spend my life's important time here, and I have to be accountable. I have to be in efficient one, not inefficient. And that can come only when you decide for yourself. Nobody can force you, that is also true, and no one can force, because you have to do something for which you are paid. You can take it professionally, you can take it occupation wise, you can consider whatever way, and that is where it lies. So integrity is that important. Without integrity, nothing is going to work. even if you are 2 persons in that organization, or 100 persons, or thousands persons. Then we say that leadership is limitless. There is no limit, no bound. It is your leadership. It's your phenomenon. You should be strong enough for that. You should be having attitude for that. That's not, you can say, personal attitude, but attitude that gives you something. That's what leadership is. Leadership has no fixed definition. It's upon leader how to define, and everything, every statement cannot be given in writing. Every job cannot be described. Only important parts of job can be described, which are very significant, and everybody should know that. And there are so many parts of job. If you want to move further, that you have to decide yourself what responsibility, additional responsibility one can take. And if you are interested in taking responsibility, I am sure nobody shall stop you from that. And of course you cannot even think that I'll get promotion on that, but knowing also is very important. You can know only when you can perform, and if you cannot perform, you cannot know it. That is also meaning of leadership. Leadership, one who can lead self, it is very easy for that person to lead others, lead activities, lead persons, lead machines, lead designs, lead every activity. If you can lead that, you are a mind, I can say. Only mind can lead. Your body cannot lead. Of course, mind is a part of body, but when I say mind, it is internal mind of body. It's not ordinary way to understand. An internal mind is, that is power of your electrical current that moves through your body, and that electrical current is power of soul. I'm not going to talk about soul because this is a different subject, though its working is very important. Everybody has soul. I'm not talking medically or otherwise. I'm talking as human being. And without soul, even birds cannot survive. Other creatures cannot survive. Everybody has living system within body, and living and operating system in body is called soul and body. So then we go to planning, which is of course clause 6. But without planning doesn't mean you have to make some drawing or you have to make something else. Planning includes all activities. Planning includes what we want to see ourselves after 20 years, after 10 years, what's our objective we want to be, what today we are, and where did we come from to this state. That we know. History of our own we know, past of our own we know. Where did we make mistake, what did we do, that we have to self-study. And documents, history of company can give you. You can say there is maybe some small library in every organization where records are kept, ancient record, or you can say archives, you may call it. In those archives you have all what company has done. It should be there if you are really professional, because what we did in past and we do same kind of work again, there should be efficiency, additional efficiency on your part, and that can come only when you are serious, when you record. Maybe you are not there, somebody else is there in your place. That person did not know what you did, but your records shall speak automatically what did we do. So planning is something different. It says it includes actions to address risks and opportunities, and it also includes system objectives and planning to achieve these objectives. It's a kind of system in system, you may say, system within a system. Planning, because planning cannot be executed immediately. Planning cannot be seen to deliver results immediately, because it's very difficult and complicated arrangement. Term is planning very simple, we can understand, okay, we have plans, but I would say it is proportional, it is a determination how to do something that quality and safety both are preserved. both are preserved. You deliver quality, you deliver quantity, you deliver objective, you deliver within time. That's very important, because it's not contract alone. Everywhere time is important. Time is defined or time is decided. That importance is also very significant. So we have to say that what we have to do as far as planning is concerned, it's not simply planning of construction. It can be planning of commerce, promotion. It can be planning of organizational promotion. It can be planning of something else. But we take planning into our account because we are talking about safety, health, quality, etc., etc. So we may say what we can consider is important here. We say actions to address risks and opportunities, and management system objectives and planning to achieve these objectives. These are all focused, means or oriented. What points could be there that we have to understand? What points could be there for our consideration to achieve objective? We may say, it says being risk-based, thinking to front. Actually, it's not being, I think it's an error. It's bring risk-based. There are risks everywhere. We have to think about that. And people think. If you are a professional, automatically, by virtue of your qualities, you cannot go without thinking. And if you cannot think, you cannot understand. That's also very much true. You can say risk-based thinking to front. Front means initial work. Front means at a stage where others may not be involved. You can say get risk-based thinking to front. It is also a part of planning. You plan something, you should know about that, what it can give you. If I am going to do this way, this formula I have to use, what result can I get? This is result probability number 1. This is result probability number 2. This is result probability number 3. There can be, as many results as possible, depending upon which way one has to go. And that way has to decide where you have to go. So you have to consider risk at every part. And when you consider risk at every part, every point, I think that is very much required, and you can solve your problems, and you can keep eyes on every risk, whether it has come or it is expected to come within this period. But if you understand this, I got this, how it is coming, I can either take measures to escape it, or we have to do something else so that we can get protection, or we can divert it to something else. And once organization pinpoints risks and opportunities, it has to work out how to resolve, address through planning. We say we get risk, that is, we say very pinpointed, means very much indicative how we can face this, or how does it come. We have to pinpoint, and also it becomes an opportunity if we can understand its aftermaths. This can happen aftermaths, and then what is our role, what I want to do as commercial person, as business person, what can I do for this problem? Everybody has to think. So it says, once organization pinpoints risks and opportunities, it has to work out how to resolve, address through planning. You have to plan, you have to understand what is this risk, how it could come, what could be its reason, and then you can find, if you understand thoroughly what this is, you can solve, or everybody can solve that problem. But it requires mind It requires concentration to understand risk and solve these risks, transform them to, you can say, beneficial points, and that we can say it is opportunity. If it gives opportunity for something else which may be or may not be useful, but somebody must have some use, we can consider that point. Opportunities, if we get, we should take, and then that opportunity becomes integral part of our plan. You can also say what, who, how and why and when these risks be addressed. Means we should have planned within that plan to help ourselves about converting these risks into opportunity or some other use, or just to use our energies for better work. Then we can say reduce risks for corrective actions later. After knowing that, this approach replaces preventive actions. When we take care of risk, we understand that certainly we shall understand everything, and we can say that we can prevent losses. So it may be called loss prevention. It may be called. If we concentrate on our procedures, if we know what happened with us in past, in recent years, where did we fail, why should we not fail here? If you take care of whatever care is required for you, and that's also very important part, that this approach replaces preventive actions and reduce risk for corrective actions later. Risk may not be immediately solved, but even if it's not solved, it can be resolved after few hours when you take up again. So you can say reduction of risk, reduce risk for corrective action later, and that's very important point, that we have to reduce risk to certain levels. Otherwise it becomes a cause of concern. I'm not interested, you're not interested, we leave it to chance, and nothing can be left to chance in scientific world, not in professional world. Nothing can be left to chance, and if you leave to chance, it will procure one more problem with this own problem, then another problem with this problem, and we can say it is a coordination, or it is integration of activities, that one problem can cause another problem also. So we have to reduce that unknown, that unexpected or secret happenings from some unknown source, and that can be done only when we rationalize our work, we understand logic for every act, and that gives us something different. We have to understand these points very well. Reduce risk for corrective actions later. Objectives of management system should be measurable, committed, communicated, aligned to management system policy, and you can say and update as and when required. Now it is very important to understand this. Says, as we said before, that we approach this approach of scrutiny, approach of understanding of risk or vision, we have to take preventive actions, and we should not go to end when we get damages and we have to act. Maybe some problem exists in our mind, sometimes we don't understand, then it can bring problems to us. We have to plan professionally. This is not arbitrary plan. We have to plan in row of every activity. Timings we have to plan. With timing we have to plan quality standards, and we have to understand safety standards, or whatever else is possible. So we have to reduce risk if we know what potential of risk does exist. Objectives of system should be measurable. What does it mean? Measurement doesn't mean only that units which we use. It can be assessment based. You can say measurement, what we wanted, how much we get, percentage wise possibly, or time wise, or you can say by physical changes, physical mechanism that brought changes to us, and we have some time to think on that. We should have some time to think on that, and if we can't think on that, I think we cannot do anything. So what I say, management system objectives can be measured in certain terms, not exactly in mathematical units but in procedural terms. What benefit we get by system of our, you can say, controls. What did we get? Did we get our objectives reached, or we are just struggling to get them? That measurement is not unit based measurement. That measurement is performance based measurement. What level could we perform, or could we perform better than this, and can we perform much better than this in future of same item. So planning is used for this purpose, for quantifying that level, that unknown in whatever units or whatever worries or concerns. We have to understand that if that objective is understood, it's well communicated, when everybody knows, it's aligned to system policy. And you can say there are so many ways. There can be lot explanation, but it depends on what project you deal with. Sometimes project is according to your experience, according to basic qualification, and according to what I spend my time on books, on acquiring knowledge. I cannot say that I know everything. It's not our country's statement, I know everything. It's Arabic statement. Their nature is, because they wear these what we call dressing, and that dressing should be in work. Whatever work we do, we should be well dressed, we should be well shaped, and on top of everything, we should be qualitative. We should be human safe. No worker should be harmed, should be impacted by that activity. So we can say, we go to support. There are some points that we read first, and this is clause 7, support, and it includes resources, competence, awareness, communication, documented information, and you can say what consideration points are there: material, equipment, and human resources, that is in resources, capacity, potential of organization and individual, then it is qualification of personnel, awareness among all pertinent systems and its functioning, written job description, work procedures, safety procedures, quality control procedures, and administration methods. Documented information is different than documentation. Whatever information about system and procedures or process in whatever form, such as written text, maps, charts, designs, successful implementation, evidence of compliance of requirements. No system of documents, but evidentiary available documents for reference and future use. So we just talk of this. It's very important points here in this clause. This is support clause. So you see support. Really, support is, though it is support, but I think it's most responsible. Without supports, we can't move. That is also true. We can't move without supports. It can be resources, all type of resources, human resource, machine resource, equipment resource, or you can say some other resource. Human resources, right? Machine resources, material resources, and whatever else you require for that project. You should study thoroughly and have it. You must know where shall you want to work, or where do you work, and where you get employment, only then you can work. So that's what it says, which resource you want to use. What is that resource? First you analyze that one. You will find answers. These are standard answers, to some extent not varying a lot if items are of same nature. And there are so many organizations working already on those resources. Some are successful, some are not successful. But your optimum use of resource lies in your hands. If you operate your resource perfectly, you will get perfect answers. Resource is human resource, machine resource, money resource, finance resource, quality resource, method resource. All we have to understand, all we have to count into our consideration. Then it comes to competence. What is competence? Point is that, what is competence? We can say level of achievement is competence. Level of doing something which is not illegal, even if sitting at door. And there can be whatever else. Competence has no one definition. Competence in maintenance, competence in direct work, competition in direct work, everywhere marks are counted. Dr. Saab knows it very well. Who is doctor? Every person who can solve problem is a doctor. Every person. Here means you have problem, you have to treat it, so you have to check it, you have to examine it, investigate it, and if you can do that, you find solution for that, and that's what science is. Because you understand everything yourself. Of course, you cannot do everything yourself because you are not a professional but lying. But whatever is said, it should be done. We can say awareness support. I have very good support, I can say. I have good resources with me, but don't forget those are expensive. And I am just disseminating to you what's happened, how do you face, and what I'm doing. It's competence. Competence. Very, very important. Put off fan, I think it's causing harm to me. Very cold. So resource, competence, awareness. I have to be aware of everything. Means not only myself, everyone should be aware in our organization. Whatever work we do, we should be aware how we have to do, what is procedure, and who are involved in direct management, direct command, and who are involved in supporting command. Because if you take support, I think it's more important to be support, to learn something. Support is very important everywhere. If you take a building structure, you take a flyover, you take something else, you will find everywhere support exists. And that support is such important, you cannot even think to remove that. It's not possible. That is integrated part of that product. Integrated part. Example, just an example I am giving. A building has columns. We cannot think even to remove those columns. A flyover has columns. We cannot remove these structures from rest. Support is that much. Fixed support, permanent support, intermediate support, or just support to get more support. So there is no definition of that. Awareness is important, competence is important, resources are important. You should explain to everyone, at least to some extent. I am not saying you do research work with them, but they should know what it is about. And that is known through communication. You cannot go all days, all time to everyone. And we have communication structure these days everywhere. Sometimes there is problem in that, but usually without that life cannot move. Communication. And on projects, on organization, they say there is a miscoordination, there is miscommunication. Why do we say that? It's because we are not serious. We are not serious enough to face it. We are not serious enough to concentrate on that. And that concentration is required. Without concentration, we cannot do anything. So communication is, you can say, in itself a system. You know, systems exist among systems, and communication is one of those systems. It's one of that way that we have to communicate properly, we have to coordinate properly. Only then we can move forward. And communication, you can say quality communication rather than saying just communication. Quality communication has gone out of control. People don't believe in quality communication also. Unfortunately, they believe in only statements verbatim. He told me this, I told him this, means they want to just talk on mobile and finish job. While communication should be creative, it should be oriented. I'm not saying just talking is communication. Communication of specific issues on which you have been working with someone and someone is working with someone else. And then closer comes, you come, sometimes come, you don't come. I'm not objecting to that whether somebody comes or not, but communication is communication. It's a compound work because it is multidirectional, it is reciprocal. Whoever writes something to someone, that person is bound to read that and answer that, either in terms of working or in terms of recalling. Everywhere we have to communicate, and that art of communication is very important. It may be mail communication, it may be mobile communication, message communication, whatever, or you can say participating in webinars or seminars or congresses. That's not direct communication but knowledge communication. So we can say documented information. Documented information shall answer all these questions. What resources we have or we shall have, what level of competence we have and we can have. What level of completeness we have, completeness also I am saying, what level of documented information we have, we can refer to that. It's for that purpose. Reference. Reference is also not so easy. It should be very much reliable, and without that we cannot say that we have got something. Document is our communicator, and that document is very, you can say, very much important. That document is very much important. We can depend on documents if we maintain them, if we record. Documents speak on their own. They don't need we cannot simply run away from our responsibility, and we should not forget that person can go but documents cannot go. Person can die but documents cannot die. Records cannot die until there is some emergency or hazards, you can say. That is different. But even then we have some record which is parallel, or we can say backup. So documented information is history. It can be called history. It should be taken that way. It is a speaking resource, means it's not physical resource, but it becomes physical resource one time. If companies keep historical records with them, everybody can refer to them. If we did that, we had that mistake on that project, how did we come out of that mistake, that error, and that we can know from records. This was problem, what was reason of that problem, this was reason of that problem, how could we solve it, we solved it this way. Documented if it is, it can be said, just like we use term as built. Here you may not say as built, but you may say as built also, but it is as considered can also be said. Means we have to find our solutions from those records. So these points are related. You can say resources, and when resources are considered, means competence automatically is considered, because without competence resource cannot work. It may be mechanical competence or it can be human competence, knowledge competence. Then when we have both, then everybody should know what for this resource is, what can we do with this resource, to what extent we can use this resource. And then when we know that, means everybody cannot study on that, somebody specifically should study, and then we have to disseminate that information to everybody so that everybody becomes aware of that. And when everybody is aware, means responsibility is increased, enhanced, and that awareness is a communication type, which way we have to let them know this, and that is communication. It can be online, it can be intranet, it can be through writing or mails, or whatever way you can say, conducting just like talks, like that, conduct certain meetings, and that document all this as information or as whatever title can be given. And then what we can say, this is support. We are talking of support, system support, and that support is so significant that nothing can be done without that. Support is very much educated in terms of educational standards, in terms of training, and in terms of professional requirements that support works. Then we have to consider other points as well. We can say that it is material equipment and human resources, as we said. Material is very important, equipment is also important, and human resources. Without these three, you cannot do anything. Without human resource, we cannot use equipment, and without materials, we cannot do anything. And materials and equipment both are, you can say, procurable, and we have to decide on each requirement depending on what sort of work we have, what quality level we should have, which equipment is better than other. Likewise, we can conduct search and we can conduct analysis of our proposal, our requirement. Second point of consideration is capacity, potential of organization and individual. Capacity potential, very important point. We generally call in contracting constructability, capability, what level this organization has. Means we want to know what level we have, what composition we have, and what that composition gives us, what level of capacity we can get in that organization and that individual. Qualification of purpose. Qualification. If our people, our workers, our staff have to work according to their job description, then certainly they are educated. Total qualification, and that total qualification works in combination of each knowledge. Result of work tells person is well educated theoretically and practically. That is told by what? Is told by quality product. Is told by efficiency. You can say observing product performance, observing human performance indicates level of competence. Building up what level this person has built up. Qualification of personnel varies, and also products varies, just like opportunity varies, just like our hard work varies. We call it smart work, or we call whatever you can call, but ultimately don't forget, one has to do something, one has to do that, and that one has to do that is very, very important factor. So qualification of personnel, I can say, is very important issue. Awareness among all pertinent system and its functioning. We are talking of personnel, now we are talking of system itself. About system, if you want to utilize your team, whole team, then I think all personnel in that team, particularly those who are having competence, they should know about system. They should not only know about system, but also should make sure that they understand the system, its functioning, its structure, its tolerable limits, its variation, and what way, where does this structure of system take us? Where shall it take us to? So we have to first understand ourselves, then we have to make sure that everybody, every key personnel in that, every responsible personnel in that group of system, that they know about this system, design of this system, and inclination of this system towards designs, and what perfectness, what expertise, how powerful, with what potential this system works. Functioning, how does it function? Because functioning is not mechanical here. Every functioning, moral functioning is there, which people now don't like. Moral people don't like. Norms people don't like. Values people don't like. I don't know why. Well, awareness and functioning must be known to everyone. Then you can say everybody is employee, everybody is responsible, everybody shall be paid, and everybody should know what I have to do daily for this company. What's my purpose? That purpose cannot be just talking to one. Everybody should have, you can say, its requirements in that company, or we can say what role that person is going to dispose. And that role means what focus is that, what objective is that, and we can say that is job description, what job we have to do or this person has to do, and in 1 month or 1 year how much can one improve, and if one continues for improvement, and that is what is required, improvement. Improvement is not end ever, it's always a new start. Improvement, we have to start anew, or comma wise new, you can say, start comma wise news. I think you got my point. We say that written job description, work procedures, safety procedures, quality control procedures, administrative methods, etc. So many inclusions here in this consideration. Job description, very important. You can describe your job yourself. If it is better than company's description, in that case maybe they adopt your own. Who knows? But remember, it should not be undue. It should be pointed. It should be objective, and it can be expanded without problems. It should include all your responsibility factors, or even if it's not issue, I don't think it's a big problem, because if there is a problem, it's problem for problem. We have to analyze every problem, we have to find solution to every problem, and we can say that we always say safety, work procedures, quality. If we can find ourselves in that methods we use for works, it's better for everybody. Otherwise you can say work procedures we have to know, and it's better if we write them, which includes safety procedures, quality controls, and administration as well at some points. We can say job description It's not easy to define. Maybe sometimes professionals do it, but I'm talking for everybody. Sometimes job is difficult, it's boring, but there is solution, no problem. We can find solutions, we can give references, and here is quality control. Quality control is no joke. It is very much technical work. Quality control is technical work. It's not gossipism. And if quality control does not work, your quality system fails. It also does not work, because both are related. If we arrange right system, that every link should be workable. It doesn't mean just go to one page and read, and go to 9 pages and read and say, okay, it's right, it's wrong. Until you have understanding, you have a chance to understand what you do. That is important. Clarity should exist. Clarity. No clarity means a problem. Clarity doesn't mean a problem. If everything is clear, I can say work can be done in much better form than we mix up with or do in confusing state. So quality control is, you can say, also a root of quality, because quality control is conducted when you do quality organization. Quality control is of equal importance, but this is different type. Everything is defined or not defined, that has to be decided. But first people are to be escaped. That's more important than anything else. This is more important. You can say how to administer something. It's also very important, because without administration nothing can be done. It can be engineering administration, technical administration, general administration, or whatever else. Administration means how to handle people and how to handle activities. It's true. You have to handle. You can say documented information. Documented information is different than documents. Documented information, we have all information, and that is documented one. We stress on information rather than documents. If I stress, oh no, you have to record this document, then you have to record this document, and you have to record this document, it sometimes causes panic or headache to those who deal with you. It causes headache for them. Documented information without title on it, but title of information is available, I think that can serve purpose. If you are clear what document says and what does it say in sequence with other documents, that information weighs, that information can solve my worries on that work. That is documented information, and there is no title for different documents. It's up to your hand. What title do you give? There is no title. Piles of documents. Every document is different, but has some record, maybe some numbers also given to that one. So documented information is unlimited. There can be whatever number of information entered to one file or in different folders. That's up to you. It's your way of working. So documented information is different than documentation. Any document, whatever documentation you do, but what documents are important, that must be understood. Then we have to see whatever whatever information about work, about arrangements, about management and procedures or process in whatever form, such as written text, maps, charts, designs, successful implementation, evidence of compliance of requirements, etc. Whatever we have in procedures, in our own procedures or in method, in whatever form, it may be text, map or graphs or drawings or tables or designs, or you can say evidence of successful implementation, evidence of compliance of requirements, or you can say whatever else. No system of documents but evidence available documents for reference of future use. As we said here, it's also very important to understand that we have some information how to do this, method how to do this. It may be in whatever form, and so there are so many mediums written here, don't worry about that. That is text, maps, charts, designs, successful implementation, evidence of compliance of requirements, and it says evidence availability for reference and for future use documented information. This is a little statement that says there is no system of documents but evidentiary available documents for reference and for future use documented information. We cannot lightly take these points of documents. You can see so much is done behind documentation in some organizations, one cannot imagine. That's very important point we have to understand, that no system of documents but evidentially available documents, evident, that can be, you can say, reused for purpose, that document. For reference, for our reference, what we have to do, which reliability paper we have, and for future use, and that we say documented information. So these are, you can say, in fact, many points about planning, resources, competence, resources, competence, awareness, communication, documented information. So very long support. You cannot reduce it. You may reduce it on some other smaller project which may not be that efficient, but we have to see how that works. These are very small points. Now we have to jump onto operation. Operation. It's not surgical operation. It is professional work operation. Operation. Activity can also be called operation. Part of operation. We may say this is activity on this product going on. Operation is going on. What does it include? Operation. Operation includes planning and control. That already we discussed. Means execution it is, you can say. execution. We can say right word or wrong word. Prosecution it is, execution it is. You can say action plan it is. And there are certain points of considerations. It may be long process. Long process it is, in-house or outsourced. In-house or outsourced, both. Then overall process management includes adequate criteria to control these processes. Overall process management includes adequate criteria to control these processes. You got it? Overall process governance includes adequate criteria to control these processes and organize and manage planned and unintended changes. Means operation is a stage where you have to do it exactly in what we have planned, what we have designed. During that stage, you cannot play with something else. Operation is very important. It may be, you say operating, you're operating your organization in this case, and you shall also operate that project if it comes to you. If it comes to you, shall you like to enjoy it in terms of sharing responsibility. Enjoying is not entertainment. Enjoying means enjoy. I-N. Enjoy. There is another word, engage or enjoy, that's different. We are talking here reality. What is reality? Operation is a reality. It's a kind of directed term, as we use gradients in tea. It is milk, blood, or you can say hypertension as well. And then we have whatever we have to operate for purpose of production, for purpose of whatever. We have to operate, and without that we cannot do anything. That's our point of concern. We have to be very careful about that, and we may say that operation is reality. That operation is a group of activities. Actually, this is a sequence of activities, group of activities that we perform, and you can say each one can be called operation or group can be called operation. There we have to see whether we have to use our own people or we have to give it to subcontract. If you are contractor, or if you have to given it to some main contractor, if you are client, we can also be client. We can work for client, so owner. So we can give this work to some contractor or to some subcontractor. And you know well what is contract or subcontract. Contract means you are directly responsible for this construction or design and construction, and you then next responsibility comes to you again after some time. We can say outsourced or in-house. Then overall process governance or management organization. Overall process work includes adequate criteria to control this process. Overall process charter, you can say, includes adequate criteria to control these processes. Manage it, plan it, and unintended changes. It's a big issue here. We are talking of big issue. It's a small, it's big one, and it's a responsible one. It's accountable. Because if you don't account this, you miss something. we miss something, and that something is very important, very significant, as we say, in-house and outsourced. If we have our own system, if organization has its own key personnel and project demands that, then you can say we have in-house system, we can use our experts for our fast results of performance of contract. Still not started, say new bag of food, we are now started. This food is mind food. So in-house and outsources are both required. There are some activities, there are some works for which we have to do outsourcing because we don't have specialists, and there are some activities or operations that our people can do if they can, because they too are experts, but not expert in all fields. Same way, we have to use them as we use others. We can give them more responsibility. If they can, they have to learn more and more. And then you can say, other one is that overall process, organization includes adequate criteria to control these processes. Then you can say, if there is requirement of change, there is requirement of change or necessity of change, then we have to think that way also. You may say, we have to control everything, including changes. These changes may be unintended. These were not seen, they will change them. But availability of something can force us to change. No other way. We have to understand that point. Then we go to evaluation after that. That is performance evaluation, which is also big, you can say. You may say that we have to do everything in that, of course. We have to do everything in that. That is what we say, monitor it. Monitor it, measure it. Monitor, measure, and you can say analyze. You can say monitor, measure, analyze, and evaluate. Monitor, measure, analyze, and evaluate. Monitor means check it, what it is working, this performance is fine or unfine, it's what we designed for, or it's different, it's varying. Means you have to keep an eye on performance. Can we measure it? Maybe we can, if it's measurable. If it's not measurable, then we cannot do anything. And then analysis. It's very big issue of analysis, without which we cannot do anything. As we see in our files, analysis is too significant term. We use analysis, a master tool for work contemplation. It's masterful for work contemplation, and it should be very well understood. Otherwise we sit in darkness. Analysis cannot be done by everyone. That fact also have to understand. Everyone cannot do analysis, but some people can do it. Those who understand not exactly what I say, mathematics was sequence. How sequence can bring change to our focus. And it was horrible, some cases, horrible. So here is analysis and evaluation, which are very important part of scenario. It is very important part of scenario. We cannot run without that. Really speaking, we cannot run without that. And that is analysis and evaluation. If we cannot conduct analysis, we cannot conduct evaluation, because analysis tells us breaks of everything, sequence of everything, what we have to do. You can read it for 5 minutes. I'll be back. Okay. So what I say, sorry, back here we are talking of performance evaluation, which is very significant, in fact, very, very significant, I can say, because we have to monitor, we have to measure, we have to analyze and evaluation. But evaluate also, we have to do both. Maybe it's long process to understand this, but if you understand this, we can do wonders on that. It's really something extraordinary that we can monitor it. If we can measure, it's fine, and there can be many units of measurement. Then after that we can say we can analyze also what we have done, and even if there are no chances of measurements in whatever way, we have to ascertain what can be measured, how it can be measured, time, maybe it is time wise, it's phase wise, maybe it is quantity wise, or whatever way. We can say, if we understand that procedure by virtue of having repetitions or experience, by virtues of our analytical work, even if you say I analyze that well and I get a result, I can give value to that by this formula, we can say then audit can be done. We have 4 forms here: monitoring, measurement, analysis and value. These are important, and these can, based on results, performance, we can study them further in terms of analysis or in some other terms. Value, you can say, what value we achieved. We can do a lot study on that, and that lot study is very much important from every point of view. After that we can say whole management or whoever is responsible, they can themselves do audit, or you can say somebody else can do audit on that performance. Where did we get success, where did we get failure, or where will be partly successful. Then how better we can perform it. Everything is done in a better way, is planned to be done in a better way, and that is where improvement is important. What is improvement? First we have to prove something, we have to establish something. Then if we can do it better in whatever terms, in terms of its use, in terms of its quality, or in terms of its saving time or cost, or speed up production, provided quality is not affected, quality is not adversely done, quality is maintained, or if we can upgrade quality and same cost, with same cost, that gives, there is no limit, there is no confinement, there should be no reservation, or you may say you cannot impose some conditional qualities on that, some qualifications on that. Therefore we can say what are points for consideration, and points for consideration are, you may say, organization requires to decide about internal audit to ensure compliance of system. Internal audit, your own audit, to make sure that system works and compliance works. System and compliance to system both work That is what we have to make sure through audit, internal audit first. You can say system requires, you can say organization requires to decide about internal audit to ensure compliance of system that we devised ourselves, we designed ourselves. Final review by organization heads to ensure its compliance and whether or not works suitable, adequately and effectively. So it is performance. We have to keep an eye on performance, and that eye is very critical. That eye should be more significant than eagle's eye. It should be more powerful. It should have power to tell where is error, where is inefficiency, where system lacks in its strength, or where more power is required to be given to someone. System works only suitably when we respect it and we try to amend it to new requirements. We cannot simply say system is working without scrutinizing system, and that system can be scrutinized only when it is audited by those who have no neutral, who have no supportive nature, who have no inclination or bias. It is in interest of time of your company, your organization. It's in interest of quality. It is in interest of customer that we must have system that works successfully, that works adequately and also effectively. Effect, adequacy and suitability, adequately and effectively. This should work. System should work. And if system does not work, then we have to think a lot. Either we are wrong or system is wrong. Somebody is wrong. We have to keep that point in mind. And after considering all these points, clause 1 to clause 9, in different titles, we have final or conclusive statement here on title very specific or perfect. There is no act, there is no work anywhere in the world where improvement cannot be applied. It can be done on every good act, it can be done on excellent acts, and it's of course done on bad acts. So we can say it includes non-conformity on which corrective action is required. Non-conformity on which corrective action is required. We can say continual improvement. Yes, that's right. Continual improvement just like continuous survival, continuation of life, continuation of business, continuation of study, continuation of research, and continuity. Why terminate? Point is that if we are able to continue, even after doing improvements on that, we have to continue. Continual improvement. Every improvement brings something and takes away something, brings something suitable, more suitable, and takes away not suitable. And both ways it is satisfied mathematically that in morning we did, in end of shift we did, and next day we started new. Improvement has no ends. Improvement got no end. It is endless mechanism and it works very well. We can say that there should be no non-conformity, and if it exists, it resolves. It is to be resolved. It has to be resolved because non-conformity shall not be accepted until it is improved or it is amended. So here, what are points that we have to consider? That is also very important. What points do we have for consideration in case of, what we have to improve, depending on problem like non-conformity, or what actions we have to take for applying correction? That is very important point, and it's not very, I can say, descriptive, but important. You can say in changing business environment, which always keeps on changing, it's nothing new. All times in past, every act was changed, every act was amended. So you can say, or I can say, in changing business environment, process and objectives vary. Process and objectives vary to meet which requirements continual monitoring, everything is affected. In changing business environment, process and objective vary to meet which requirements continual monitoring, evaluation and improvement are a must. Every business environment changes. It's nothing new. You do whatever work. You are in factory or manufacturing unit. You may be contractor, you may be personal, whosoever. Business changes everywhere. I mean to say, environment in which you work. How do we work? It varies from time to time. It varies for purpose you are doing. It may be working environment, it may be safety environment, or it may be commercial environment. Changes are processed. Objectives are fixed. Environment is studied, and new study, whatever we think, is applied, and we have to make sure it works in better position. And that depends on monitoring. That depends on evaluation. And that depends on improvements are a must. Improvement always moves on and on and on. It never stops. It is so magnificent, it's so powerful, you cannot stop. These are only few points we discussed about clauses. These are neither end nor beginning, but just guiding clauses, guiding points from scope to improvement. From scope to improvement through norms through, you can say, whatever requirements come in way of quality, all those I am talking of. These 10 clauses are not end of world. It's just a guide of these 10 clauses. We just repeat them so that it be clear. This is scope number 1. Then normative references, terms and conditions, context of organization, leadership, planning, support, operation, performance evaluation after operation, performance evaluation, and then improvement. These 10 points are quite enough to let us know what we are doing. Are we doing in right direction, or we have to move a little this end or that end, or we should have trust that everything is going on fine. Everything goes on is fine. Okay, everything goes on fine. We can say that two more important objectives in revision of this series of standards have been, what are those? This is by 9000, by ISO 9000. These two important objectives have been that to develop a simplified set of standards, that be equally applicable to small as well as medium and large organizations. This means this may be satisfactory for everyone. You can say small enterprise it may be, or medium enterprise it may be, or large enterprise it may be. When I say enterprise, this means organizations. So it says, I repeat, to develop a simplified set of standards that be equally applicable to small and well as medium or large organizations. For amount and detail of documentation required to be more relevant to desired results in organizations' process activities. I repeat, for amount and detail of documentation required to be more relevant to desired results of organizations' process activities. So these are 2 points. First is develop a simplified set of standards that shall be equally applicable to small as well as medium and large organizations. And second is for amount and details of documentation quarterly done, and in can say develop a small simplified set of standards that shall be equally applicable to small as well as medium and large organizations. And for amount and detail of documentations, for amount and detail of document management system, quality management systems requirement is to explain intent of new standards, the specific regard to documented information. Some 00 is coming, video and audio. I don't know why it's coming 0 now and after 2 hours. Okay. ISO 9001 2015 quality system requirements have achieved these objectives, and purpose of this documenting is this writing is to explain of explain intent is falling again. Don't know why, falling and falling every time. ISO 9001-2015 quality management system requirements have achieved these objectives, and purpose of this writing is to explain intent of new standard with specific regard to documented information. ISO 9001 2015 allows an organization flexibility in way to choose to document its quality management system QMS. This enables each individual organization to determine correct amount of documented information needed in order to demonstrate effective planning operation and control of its processes with implementation and continual improvement of effectiveness of QMS. Important. What does it do? QMS enables, organizational flexibility in a way. It says there is organizational flexibility in its way, and it chooses documents its quality management system, which enables each individual organization to determine correct method of documented information needed in order to demonstrate effective planning operations and control of its processes and You can say this enables each individual organization to determine correct amount of documented information needed in order to demonstrate effective planning, operation and control of the law follow. It's just the ISO 9001 design requires maybe video goes off after some time because of signals. Yet we continue. Let's see. Maybe I have to do again after this time. It's now 00. Oh, some has come. What's this? What is documented information? Its definition. It says, let's say, term documented information. There's a term. Term documented information was introduced as part of common high level structure. Documented information was introduced as part of common high level structure, and it's called HLS, high level structure, in common terms for management system standards. Definition of documented information can be found in ISO 9000. Then we can say following are some main objectives. Following are some main objectives of an organization's documented information. Independent of whether or not it has implemented a formal QMS. Documented information. Documented information you can say it's communication of information. Communication of information it is. Communication of information, it is as a tool for information transmission and communication. This means it is a tool. It's a tool for information transmission and communication. A type and extent of documented information depends on nature of organizations, products and processes. What sort of information you have to document, to what extent, it depends on what product you are doing, what product you are producing, and what is your process of producing that product. What is degree of formality of communication system, how much do you want to communicate, and you can say that's called level of communication skills within organization and organizational culture. Within organizational and organizational culture, because some people like information to know, some don't like to know. It depends upon individuals also. And reasonable work is okay, you can say. Type and extent of documented information, it depends on nature of organization's product and processes, degree of formality of communication systems, and level of communication skills within organization and organization culture. Evidence of conformity. Evidence of conformity. Provisions of evidence that what was planned has actually been done. What was planned, that actually has been done. Knowledge sharing. What is evidence of conformity? First one was communication of information. Second is evidence of conformity. And then third is knowledge sharing. It's very important. Knowledge sharing. And then to disseminate and preserve organization experience. That's also important. A typical example would be a technical specification which can be used as a to disseminate and preserve organization's experiences. A typical example would be a technical specification which can be used as a base for design and development of new product or service. So there are 4 points here. One is communication of information, evidence of conformity, knowledge sharing, What is the list? List of commonly used terms and definitions. List of commonly used terms and definitions related to documented information. Clause 753, control of documented information requirements. Document could be in any form, whatever form or type of medium, and defined media type of medium and defined definition of document. In ISO 9000 2015 clause, what is that? What it says? It says document can be on paper, document can be magnetic, document can be electronic or optical, computer disk, it can be photograph, it can be master sample. Paper, magnetic, electronic or optical, photograph, master sample. Sample. Paper, magnetic, electronic, optical, photograph, master sample. ISO 9001-2015 Quality Management System clause and its processes requires an organization to maintain documented information to an extent necessary to support operation of process and retain documented information to an extent necessary to have confidence that processes are being carried out as planned. That we have to prove. It says what? What does it say? Quality management system and its processes. Quality management system and its processes require an organization to maintain documented information to an extent necessary to support operation of processes and retain documented information to an extent necessary to have confidence that processes are being carried out as planned. Journal explains quality management system documentation shall include. Generally explained, what will include is this is documented information. Documented information required by this internal standard. Documented information required by this international standard is documented information determined by an organization as being necessary for effectiveness of quality management system. Documented information determined by organization as being necessary for effectiveness of quality management system. After this clause, note after this clause makes it clear that extent of QMS documented information can differ from one organization to another one. Size of organization and its type of activities, processes, products and services. Complexity of process and their interactions. Competence of persons. All documented information that forms part of QMS has to be controlled in accordance with clause documented information. So these are main here. You can say says size, of organization. Who has to decide this? Says size of organization and type of activities, processes, products and services, complexity of processes and then interactions, competence of persons, all documented information that forms part of QMS has to be controlled in accordance with this clause. Documented information needed to be maintained by organizations for purpose of establishing QMS high-level transversal documents. These are just a minute, please. Say it is here. This is documented information needed to be maintained by organization for purpose of establishing QMS high level transfer documents. Okay. Just a minute, please. Let me move for a while. Come back. Really interesting to understand sometimes what we do, because this is quality system. It cannot be taken for granted. We have to understand every ins and outs of this, and that's where our quality lies in. It's not simply quality, it's quality of everything, you can say. It's not quality of everything, but everything is in quality. We have to understand points, we have to understand aspect of everything, And that's the important point. I can't take it for granted. It's not permissible. I have to understand facts here. And those facts are, we have to think clearly what we are doing. System in our mind, it's international, and we have to value it perfectly. Only then we can say we got something. It's not in my hands, it's not in the hands of everybody. And it says that documented information needed to be maintained by organization for purpose of establishing a QMS high level system. Documented information is necessary to be maintained by organization for purpose of establishing QMS high level transitional documents. What is that? Scope of quality management system. We have to clearly understand. And demand means when I work as a responsible person in whatever organization or key personnel, I have a right to know what is our quality management system, or if it doesn't exist, or if it exists. In both cases, if it exists, I have to understand that, and if it doesn't exist, we have to establish that. In that case, in both cases, scope is very important to be understood. If I don't understand scope, I cannot work in that. That is what I say, scope of quality management system is of prime importance. What's your scope? What you have to do? Documented information is necessary to support operation of process. Documented information is essential to support operation of process. And then, what is quality policy of organization? Does it believe in quality, or does it believe only in formality, or only in publishing some paper, or it is real? If it is real, what is quality objective? There should be some solid objective, some, you can say, realizable objective that can be realized, or it can be achieved, or you can say it shall be objective that can be practical. And this information, this documented information, we name it documented information, not documents, documented information which is essential, is subject to requirements. Documented information maintained by organizations for purpose of communicating information necessary for organization to operate low level specific documents, although system does not specifically require. ISO 9001 2015 does not specifically require any of them. Examples of documents are that can add value. Documented, maintained by information, documented information maintained by organization for purpose of communication, for purpose of communicating information necessary for organization to operate, necessary for organization to operate low level specific documents, although ISO 9000-2015 doesn't need that, but we have to add value to our system, and that is quality system. It can include organization charts, top organization chart to line management. It can be one chart or it can be a sequence of charts, whatever is best for company depending on size of company. So that is very important point. Says organization charts. It can be process flow charts, and or process descriptions. So you may say engineering, organization, then engineering, process maps, process flow charts, process descriptions, procedures, technical and administrative both. Clearly written procedures, reasonably well defined and reasonably well understood or interpreted. Explanatory, work and or test instructions, that is IFC drawings, etc., IFC documents, information, or you can say issued for construction, you may say issued for commissioning, you can say. That's work and test instructions. And then specifications, project specification, general specification, particular specification, or whatever else. Specification is actually coverage of quality system. It tells you what you are going to do, and that requires to be done, and specification has got more weight to ensure that quality requirement is met. And that's where specification it stands well. It's logical specification, it's professional specification, it's technical specification, it's specification reliable one. Then documents containing internal communication, this memos, you can say mails, methods, or whatever else, telephonic discussion, meeting, you may say whatever else, depends on organization and type of project and size of project, and you can say significance of project, secrecy of projects. You can say documents containing internal communications, production schedules, descriptive schedules, approved suppliers list of all vendors, test and inspection plans, we can name checklist, ITPs, quality plans, site or project based documents, quality manuals. All such documented information is also subject to requirements. Now, Documented information. Documented information to an extent necessary. Says documented information needed to be retained or required to be retained by organization for purpose of providing evidence. Documented information needed be retained by organization for purpose of providing evidence of result achieved records, which include what? Documented information to an extent necessary to have confidence that processes are being carried out as planned. Evidence of fitness for purpose of monitoring and measuring resources. Evidence of basis used for calibration of monitoring and measurement resources. When no international or national standard exists, it says evidence of basis used for calibration of monitoring and measurement resources. Evidence of competence of persons doing work of quality management system, quality organization system. Result of reviews and new requirements for products and services. Result of review and new requirements for products and services. Records required to demonstrate that design and development requirements have records required to demonstrate that design and development requirements have been met. Also, records on design and development inputs, records of activities of design, records of activities of design and development controls, records of activities of designs and development controls, records of design and development outputs, records of design and development outputs, design and development changes, including results of review and authorization of changes and necessary actions. Design and development changes, including results of review and authorization of changes and necessary actions. Records of evaluation, selection, monitoring of performance and re-evaluation of external providers and other actions, whatever other actions arising from these activities. Evidence of unique identification of output. Evidence of unique identification of outputs when traceability is a requirement. Records of property of customer or external provider that is lost, damaged or otherwise found to be unsuitable for use and of its communication to owner. Records of property of customer or external provider that is lost, damaged, or otherwise found to be unsuitable for use and of its communication to owner. Result of review of changes. Result Results of review of changes for production or service. Results of review of changes for production or service provision. Persons authorizing change and necessary actions taken. Records of authorized release of products. Records of authorized release of products and service for delivery to customer, including acceptance criteria and traceability to authorizing persons. Records of non-conformities. Records of non-conformities, actions taken, concessions obtained, and identification of authority deciding action in respect of non-conformity. This is records of non-conformities, actions taken, concessions obtained, and identification of authority deciding action in respect of non-conformities. Results of evaluation. Results of evaluation of performance and effectiveness, that is QMS, and you can say evidence of implementation. Evidence of implementation of audit program and audit results. Evidence of results of management reviews. Evidence of nature of non-conformity. Organizations are free to develop other records that may be required to demonstrate conformity of their processes, products, services, and quality management system. Where they exist, all such records are also subject to requirements of this clause. And it's called Annex. We discussed about this system in some relief, we can say. Very important one as far as we are concerned, and this relates to, you may say, whole analysis. All this we did for this one, and we have to now in this introductory talk about AnnexSL, we try include something that is very basics, very elementary. We explained, I tried to explain what I could do so that field engineering, life, structure of quality systems, and various processes involved in whatever system of production, manufacturing, or construction, organizations and communications, coordinations are well understood. We have to try to have it. This was very brief. You may say, don't count in hours, but in table wise, it was not very lengthy. We have to take up similarly specific talks on construction. You can say construction contracts, design contracts, construction and commissioning, and you can say EPC contracts. Likewise, as much as possible, we can concentrate, we can help, we'll try to have those whenever time comes, because we have to move with management system also, and this is management itself, organization itself, and quality is very important fact we have been talking to. It applies everywhere in all disciplines, in all fields of engineering, all branches of engineering. It's not simple that what I'm saying is right. I'm just trying to explain my views. This can be good or this can be bad. You have to decide. From various internet sources, just to share with you and also to augment my knowledge, which is very limited. I can't say that I'm very knowledgeable, but whatever small knowledge I have, I try to share with you guys. I think it's time now, it's already 3 hours or more. So better we close it at this moment before this video is put to end. We'll take up other also later on. I think it's time now to say goodbye to you guys. I hope that you like this program. Even then, I think, thank you very much. We'll see again. Thanks a lot. Okay? See you again.